Hey, want to find out how my homework made me millions? Well, to start with, like a lot of you watching, I am really not into school. I'm Claire, I'm 13. I hated school. Fact, that was until a school project changed my life. I'm always at least 20 minutes late for everything. It's not that I'm lazy, but I am not leaving for school until my morning skincare routine is done. Because school, you'll graduate, but your skin, you're gonna have that with you for your whole life. So, priorities. But my mom and my teachers didn't see it that way. My mom used to drag me to school. The whole way, like, Claire, you have to make something of yourself. Claire, you have to listen. Claire, education is important. Then all day with my teachers. Claire, you could do so much better if you just tried. Claire, you need to do the work. Claire, you need to think about your future. Like, stop saying my name. It was really hard to tell my mom and my teachers that the girls at my school are super judgy about everything. And it was just easier not to try. And what was worse than school? Homework. I've been at school all day. Why do I want to do school at home? Eventually, the school called my mom in for a meeting about my attitude, whatever. And Mrs. Crownnose, the history teacher, told my mom that I had not done any homework all year. Mom was like, all year? But I just didn't want to. My history teacher said, Claire, I just don't know what to do with you. And Mom said, I do. And then I knew I was in serious trouble. My mom told me if I didn't hand in all the homework between now and the end of the year, I would be grounded for the whole summer. That's right, the entire summer! No beach, no pool, no mall. The first thing I had to do was a project on my family history. So dead. Literally. It wasn't too hard at first. I filled in my mom and my dad and my nice grandma and grandpa and my evil grandma and grandpa who don't give me Christmas money. I took it to my mom. I was like, see, I've done some homework. My mom was like, ooh, I love family history. I thought she would make me look on the internet for more stuff to put in my homework, but it was so much worse than that. The library. She made me do research at the library. I couldn't believe my mom would embarrass me like this, making me do research at the library. Thankfully, Mom brought so many books, it was easy to hide. One book was a record of all the people who had lived in our town. The writing was so old-fashioned, I could barely read it. But it was kind of fun to try and work out all the letters, looking for my grandparents' names. I found out one of my ancestors went to fight in a war, one was a singer, one drove the first ever train in our town. One was a teacher. Boring. And then I found my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma, but someone had crossed out what they did. A mystery. But then Mom told me we had to go because the library was closing. I had been there all day. My mom told me she was pretty pleased with my history homework and that I had finally managed to do something. I was happy, but I didn't think my history homework was finished. I wanted to know more about my mystery ancestor. That night, I searched and searched. One of these old people websites must know something. Eventually, I found her name on a website about criminals and court records. Was my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma a murderer? I had to use my allowance to see her records. I'll just have to do without my skin emulsifier. My great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma, the feared pirate Calico Mahoney? This was so cool! I called out for my mom. I was so excited. I screamed, Mom, we're descended from a pirate. Mom was like, Claire, it's 3 a.m. I was so excited. I spent another hour on my phone reading all about Calico Mahoney. How she stole a bunch of gold from the British Navy. How she was captured and brought home for trial. How she escaped and hid her treasure where she thought no one would ever find it. And married a farmer and had a daughter who ran the cattle farm. My great-great-great-great-great-grandma. When my mom came to wake me up, I thought I was late for school, but it was a Saturday. So I told my mom all about Calico Mahoney and her adventures, and that actually someone had found her treasure and it was in our town museum. Mom said, "Claire, are you saying that you want me to take you to the museum?" And I was like, "No, maybe, if you have time." The treasure was amazing. I had to hand it to Calico Mahoney. Girl had taste. A lady who worked at the museum saw me taking a picture and came over to talk to me about it. I told her all about my history project and how I was descended from Calico Mahoney. She was so interested that she made me take her to the library and look at all the records I did. Mrs. Crownnose thought my history project was great. I talked everybody through all my amazing ancestors and their cool jobs. And I talked about how I had gone to the library and done all the research and found the treasure in the museum. I thought all the people in my class would laugh at me for being a library nerd, but they were too interested in Calico Mahoney to be judgy about me. In fact, quite a lot changed after that. I had never liked school because I thought people would be mean to me, but it turned out the girls in school thought I was moody and a drama queen because I was always late and never did any work. In fact, they were scared of me. Once I got a good mark in history, I tried a bit harder in other subjects. I don't get top grades, but they're not as bad as I thought they would be. And once I had a couple friends, it was easier to get to school on time. In fact, it was kind of fun to be early and hang out. I even took them to the museum to see the treasure, but when we got there, it had gone. I found the museum curator. The treasure was being sent away to a much bigger museum. "No," I shouted, "they can't send my treasure away." With Mom's help, I wrote a letter to the director of the whole museum begging her to keep the treasure in our town. The museum asked to meet me and Mom. We had no idea what they were going to say, but the curator told us that nobody had ever claimed to own Calico Mahoney's treasure, and as I was the pirate's direct descendant, the treasure was now mine. Well, Mom's, because she's an adult, but close enough, right? When you own something as important as this treasure, you don't get to take it home and keep it. So it's still in the museum, but it is worth millions. So in my mind, that makes me a millionaire. At the end of the year, I got the most embarrassing award for the most improved student. And Mrs. Crownnose said, "Well, Claire, do you think this year has taught you that you might be a historian when you grow up?" Miss, not gonna lie, what I've learned this year is that just like my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma Calico Mahoney, I should be a pirate. So, that's the story of how my homework made me a millionaire. Kinda. And helped me make new friends. I still find school annoying some days, but if you hate homework, then hey, it might not be as bad as you think. Do comment and let me know what you think of my story. Hey, maybe your homework might make you a millionaire too.